I was never on time. Like, it never happened. As much as I tried, it just never happened.
uh, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Red One Radio. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a great day. It's hump day today. The week is almost out. Waiting for Friday to get here. Actually waiting for Saturday to get here, so I can see how you guys down there at Danny K's have some drinks and some other stuff. Hope everybody's doing good. Big shout out to the side chat out there. Thank you guys for coming. Today, guys, I have a special guest up a little late, per se, considering it's early as hell here still in California. But all the way from that peach state, BrandiLand. How you doing, Miss Lady?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm doing pretty good. Been busy this week, so doing the show now makes me happy. I like doing these things on Wednesday, but I appreciate you coming out this Wednesday for this.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And being on here is pretty cool. Like I was telling you before, I think this is a really good concept that you got going on.
Well, thank you. So anyways, how is everything going in Georgia now that the hurricane is subsided and all that good stuff?
It's good. We had some people that were without power for a little over 100 hours.
Ooh,
So
that
that's kind of bad. But I think just about everybody has got their power back now, and now they're just cleaning up trees and debris and all that fun stuff that was left over from the hurricane. So we're doing good. Everything's good. It was 90+ degrees today, and you know, the heat is back, and I imagine it'll be back for a couple weeks, and you know, we'll clean up after the next hurricane.
Yeah, well, I saw that there's supposedly one now down there, like, and they're telling people in, what is that, like Puerto Rico, like evacuate or die, pretty much, or something.
Yeah, Puerto Rico got hit today. I don't know what the damage is of that yet, but I know it's pretty bad because they had it sustained winds of 140+ miles an hour. So
Right.
It's a lot different than just having 140-mile-an-hour gust come through for, you know, a couple of seconds and then be gone. These are sustained winds, so it's a lot more critical for those guys. And I don't know, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hope they do all right. But yeah, I haven't really tracked the path of this one, but you know, we'll see where it goes from here, and hopefully everybody down there, and then Caribbeans or Caribbeans, however you want to say it. Hope everybody down there is good. But besides the heat and all that stuff, because unfortunately or fortunately, yeah, today where I'm at, like it may be mid-70s, like. I can't. I don't know if I can deal with a 90-degree day right now. Like I don't think I would function properly. Like it doesn't sound fun.
70, that's insane. So at 70, would you guys have a wet heat, or you guys have a wet heat? Right?
No. We're the.
You got dry heat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not
Depends
like
on where you are in California, like where you are.
Well, it's not desert. Well, here's the thing. Like so, like you would think being this close to the ocean, like. You know, well, LA and all the West Coast cities would be similar to like a Miami, right? But we're not, because at the end of the day, California is still desert, or at least Southern California is still desert. So desert more overpowers the ocean. So I mean, granted, yes, stuff rusts a little bit quicker the closer you are to the ocean, but it's still yeah, like even me, I live less than 5 miles from the ocean, and I don't ever feel like true humidity until I go back home on vacation. I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. I don't miss this, you know.
Yeah, because that's how it is here. Like, you know, 345 days a year. It's that.
I don't. You know, honestly, I don't miss that. I don't miss humidity. I mean, it is good that we got it out here. You know, even when we do like the SoCal Motovlogger meetup, right, about Palm Springs, right, you know, it's 100 and whatever degrees, but there's like not that much humidity, or any at all.
And people don't understand the difference. Like, you know, when you say, well, you know, they go, oh, well, you know, it was 115 out here today. You know, you only got 90. Yes, we did only get 90. However, it's wet,
Right.
it's sticky hot. It's like a completely different heat. It's like, I don't know. Like
Shirt
if I
sticks to you and stuff.
yeah,
Like, I
you
hate
walk
that.
outside with a sheet of paper and it's like wilted. You know, like I'd rather be in dry heat if I had to. Now I'm a heat person. I mean I live for 100-degree weather days here. I love it. It's my favorite time. Any other time, if it's in the even mid 80s, I'm in like a long sleeve hoodie or jacket or something. Just even in my house.
Right.
But anyway, that's.
So I got a question. I've never actually ridden in that kind of weather before, like just straight up hot and humid. Explain that. If there's for somebody who doesn't experience that, like what? Like I just get hot. I get sweaty. Like it's hot because it's hot outside. Not has nothing to do with moisture in the air. You know what I mean? So that's
Right,
what I'm
right,
used
right.
to.
Okay, so you ever been in a hot attic?
Yes.
Okay, so
Stuffy
you're
and-
riding on a hot attic. It's basically what it feels like all the time.
Sucks.
So if you, but I don't know, it's not so bad like when you're, because I ride in full gear all the time. Even if I'm just changing my oil and I'm going down the street, checking out the bike, I'm gonna ride in full gear. So to ride in full gear, it's like I'm in a sweaty hot attic. And when you're riding, it's not quite so bad, but when you stop, that's when it can get, it can get dangerous. You know, if you're on a in town here and the roads are, it's red light, red light, red light, red light.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing for your bike to overheat, and then you're hot, and then your leg is hot. It's just it can get bad, but as long as you're riding the whole time, it's really not. I enjoy it. I mean, you don't even, it's like any other thing. You don't think about the heat when you're actually moving.
Moving, correct.
Yeah, it's just when you stop and you're just like you burst into flames. That's when it gets bad.
I guess for me that'd be Las Vegas on the Strip or Palm Springs, but
Yeah.
Palm Springs is a little different. But well, I mean, I guess one of these days I may figure out what it's like to ride somewhere really really humid on a bad day. But fortunately, we're just gonna stick it out here in California until the meantime. But let's ask you some motorcycle questions. What do you currently have in your stable? Because I know you have more than one bike, so I got to use a Tim Kreitz reference there. Shout out Tim Kreitz, what up, dude? How many bikes or what bikes do you have in your stable?
All right. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Tim? Every time I hear somebody say stable, now I think of Tim Kreitz. I have the Grom, and then I have my Street Triple RX, but my Street Triple RX is in the shop right now. And then David has his Triumph Bonneville. So we have 3 currently.
Nice. Okay. Triumph Bonneville. Wait, isn't that what? Wait.
Yeah, Tim has a Triumph Bonneville as well.
Okay, that's right. Because I remember you were asking him about some kind of like windscreen or some shit one time or something like that.
Yeah, he was asking me.
Or,
David uses a windscreen that he thoroughly enjoys on his bike, and I think he was just asking like how well it does or whatever, and we were kind of conversing back and forth for a little bit about it.
Okay, gotcha. Well, what got you into riding per se? Like, what was the thing that made you end up at a dealership one day and was like, "We're doing this"?
Long before dealership, my dad put me on the tank of a motorcycle when I was 2 years old, and he rode me around in my grandparents' neighborhood, and I was done. I was like, this is me. This is where I'm supposed to be right here. And I've been riding since I was about 4, and I had a little mini bike, and I just rode the hell out of that little mini bike. It's one of those old mini bikes where the brake is like a piece of metal that is just squishes into the back tire. Like it just, it's pressure plate. To
you know
squish
what?
into the back tire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I've only seen that on a go-kart, like at my grandmother's house. Like growing up as a kid, there was this go-kart in there. And I don't know how many Sundays I went out there to play as a kid and tried to start that damn thing and never could start it because, I don't know, something's wrong with it. But it had like, it's like like a big kind of, I don't want to say square because it was rounded like to fit the tire, but
to cup the tire.
It was like almost as wide as the tire, and that was the brake.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know they put those on motorcycles. I didn't know.
Yeah, and my dad was always into like making things faster, and so I remember he was always tinkering with it, always, and that's how I learned how to take stuff apart and fix stuff motorcycle related, like carburetors, because you're always cleaning out carburetors. I can't even remember a time I didn't have a carburetor somewhere in the shed torn apart.
Wow.
But I was going somewhere with that. I don't remember where I was going. But anyway, yeah. So I just started really young. Just loved it from the age of 2.
So your father was the one that pretty much brought you up. So, when did you get into racing? What was it, because of your father, or did that come later?
No, in fact, so I actually hid a motorcycle one time from my mom and dad.
What?
And I hid it. Yeah. Okay. So I'll answer your question with a question. Well, I'll answer it. It seems like
Gotcha.
It'll kind of go into this. Okay. So I hid a motorcycle from my mom and dad. I went and I bought one off of eBay, of all places, and I hid it in my pool shed. And I was like, well, they won't come over and go in my pool shed. It's wintertime. It'll be fine in there. And then I'll be able to tell them later. I'm grown already. I have my own place and
Right.
whatever. But I just didn't want to hear it, because my dad's one of those things, he thinks they're cool. He thinks they're great for him. But then he's like, he sees mine and he's like, sell it. So it's, he's kind of has mixed emotions. And I get it. I understand it. But that's just kind of how he is. So, and I didn't want to just kind of throw it in his face and be like, look, Dad, I got a bike, because I didn't want to be like that. So
Right.
I took the other route and hid it in the shed. Well, he came over and he had some stuff he wanted to look at in the shed. I don't even remember what it was, but there was something in the shed that he wanted to go look at. And like, he went right out there to it, and it was like, he came back in the house, like, real cool about it. But he came back in the house and he's like, so there's a motorcycle in your shed. I was like, oh, how about that? There sure is. And so I had to tell him, I wasn't gonna lie to him, whatever. But anyway, I told him about it. And then, he was like, all right, well, I want to ride it. So, I let him ride it, and he took off with it. And he came back, and that's when he was like, yeah, it feels pretty good. Sell it. And I'm like, I'm not selling the bike. I just bought the bike. I'm not selling the bike. So we have a mutual respect, and now he doesn't care. Now he's just like,
Right.
whatever, do your own thing. But it took him a while for him to kind of get comfortable with me being the one on the bike, per se. But as far as racing, my dad is not a racer whatsoever. In fact, my mom and dad were sitting watching TV, and there was a bike race on TV. And my mom looked at me and she goes, Brandi, are you going to do that? And my dad, like, no hesitation, was like, no.
Huh.
So, like, okay, Dad, all right. No, I'm really not going to do that. And I don't race the big bikes at all. I can't even say race the Grom. I ride the Grom on a track and, do the whole knee down and drag me over there and just have a good time on the Grom. But as far as racing, that's not, honestly, I'm more of a stunter. If I could stunt today,
Really?
I would.
Huh. Well, okay. Before I get to that, like, so what was your first track day, and what were you riding?
My first track day was at Heron Compound, and it was on my Grom.
I don't know what herring.
All right, so Josh Heron is an AMA racer from here in Georgia, locally. His house is like 45 minutes away from here where he grew up, and they had a dirt track where they used to ride go-karts on, and so they rode it so long it was all dug out and flattened out so much, patted down so much, that finally his mom was like, why don't we just pave this? So they paved it. Well, then they started getting small bikes, under 125cc bikes out there, and they were racing the bikes out there.
Right.
Well, then the go-karts kind of fiddled out, just phased out, and then they decided that they would just go ahead and just make it a small cc track bike day thing. So that's what they did, and now they race out there, all the time. They have events, they have practices that you can go to. It's a lot of fun, and sometimes Josh goes out there and rides with you and kind of gives you some pointers and tips, and it's pretty cool.
That's neat. Yeah, I know we have a couple of places like that out here, like go-kart tracks or whatever. But every now and again they'll open it up to like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, low CC like bikes or whatever. And a friend of mine who used to do track days all the time, he actually, after he got taken out at the track, he wound up buying, I forgot what was it, an 80 or something? I don't remember, but it was like some little small like kind of dirt bike. He put like street tires on it and he converted it and did it all up, and he started racing around. I think it was Adams or Apex Raceway or something like that out here in California. And like he was trying to get me into it, and I wanted to, but I was like, dude, I'd rather race my R6, man. He's like, nah, look, man. He's like, look, dude, I spent like a little over $500 for the bike. I spent like maybe another $1,000 to like get it ready and convert everything. And he's like, dude, for, I forgot what he said he spent like a weekend. It's like stupid cheap, like $20 or something for like a track day out there. And he's like, dude, I rip it up and it's so easy. He's like, if you crashing at like 40, maybe 50, 60 tops, dude. He's like, you just crash, you pick up the bike, dust yourself off, you keep riding. But that's kind of interesting though. You started on something small like that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I'm riding on the Grom, I definitely I have a tendency to tell people, like, if they ask me, what is that or whatever, I'll tell them it's a Grom, but then like the next thing out of my mouth is almost always like with no hesitation, I'm just like, but I have a real bike.
Right. Yeah, you gotta kind of defend yourself a little bit. Tell them
that, because I mean I've been riding bikes, and my first bike was a 600cc bike, so having the Grom, it's a totally different world. Everything, I mean, like when you were saying, racing, your buddy was telling you about the track, and you're gonna crash it 40, 50 miles an hour. People at Heron will they literally run, literally, like you crash, people run over you, keep going, you pick up your bike, like you just got run over, and like you're gonna pick up and keep going. So it's a different world.
Yeah, I mean, you have you done it? Have you done a track day on like your Daytona at all?
No.
Plans?
I had plans. I'd actually gone to the point of actually going to. I had the weekend ready to book and everything, and then I started having back trouble. I don't know if you know about my back trouble, but I've had a horrible back problem, which is why I had to trade the Daytona for the street triple.
You were talking about that a while, it was
3 years, 3.5 years ago. Yeah. And my back is still not where it needs to be. At some point, I absolutely would love to do a track day. I'm just not ready yet.
Now, this whole stunting shenanigans. What? How? Wait, why? How? What? Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So I used to go, okay, so I had a dirt bike for a while. I even did a couple of videos on my dirt bike. The dirt bike's name was Willikai. And I would do some wheelies on Willikai and, play around. But I never actually did, stunt videos or anything with that bike. And now that it's gone, I really wish that I would have. I wish I'd have spent more seat time on it and actually got some really cool things down that I want to do. Like with the Grom, before my clutch started getting all jacked up, I was really getting into the stoppies. So I was able to stop it and actually move a little bit before my clutch went out. But since then, I've really kind of been babying it. I really haven't done what I want to do. But I would if I could if you could say the ultimate dream Grom for me, it would have a stunt cage on it, and it would have pegs in the back to stunt it out, and do a stand-up wheelies on, absolutely all day long.
Okay, this is the first time I've heard this, so it's news to me. I mean,
it's probably news to everybody. I don't tell very many people that, but in my head, I'm just like, this would be so amazing.
She's like, if I could, I'd totally be that person on the whatever freeway at 55, just full 12 o'clock. That's just, I mean, I like to do wheelies myself, but I don't aspire to be like a stunter, or like a dank wheelie, or like that dude doing circle, wheelies in the parking lot. Wow. Like I said, it's news to me, so I can't picture you, of all people. Like,
yeah, it's kind of funny, I guess, to think about.
Well, hopefully one of these days, you can trick out the Grom. I mean, that'd be your cheapest route so far.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Don't want to do the 675 because then big bikes just scare me. I mean, usually when you see a big bike go down, it's just like, oh no, right? But you see a Grom that's doing a 16-mile-an-hour wheelie, it's like it flips over.
I'll go pick up another part for $15 and put it back on there. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right. But that's cool. That is. I'm still kind of harping on that. Like, wow, like a stunter. That is amazing.
Yeah. I wish I knew somebody here that could actually like legit train me on how to stunt. Like, not just like, oh, my buddy knows how to do wheelies. Like, okay, I can do a wheelie. Like, I don't care about that. I mean, like, stunt. If I knew somebody who could legitimately train me to do it, I would pay somebody to help me figure out the moves.
Right. Yeah, it definitely helps when you have somebody, like, I always wish I had somebody to like kind of coach me with doing wheelies, because back in the day I used to think like 2 inches off the ground, like I was about to loop it, and then
right.
so having somebody's riding with me and you see the footage and you're just like, oh, like I probably couldn't even got that front tire up on a curb, like, really, and then slowly over time you realize, oh, like I got a long way to go, which helps, but it would make a world of difference to have somebody that could explain something. Like, one thing I can't figure out yet, I mean, is, okay, doing a wheelie and you start drifting one direction, like, me, I have to set it back down because either there's a car or like a center wall or something. There's something I don't want to hit, so I have to set it back down. I haven't particularly figured out how to like lean far enough or shoot my ass halfway off the seat in the other direction to counter, like, whatever that, I don't know. I really wish I could just ask somebody who knew.
Yeah, exactly. See? Exactly.
And could like explain it. Like, I mean, you can go, I'm pretty sure right now you can go on YouTube and look up how to this and that, but I'd rather trust like somebody. But
it's different when you got somebody right there with you, though.
Right. Especially you're on Senna's, and he's like, all right, cool, so check this out. He brings it up, and he's like, all right, if I want to go left, I do this. And then I'm like, ooh, I can actually see it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
that would be different. But I mean, look, you can always go down to Florida and get a dank wheelie training session or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. And the Grom, what's crazy about the Grom, like, okay, so you're doing a wheelie on your big bike is like, you've got a larger margin for error, which is good.
True.
Because you need it on a big bike. But on the Grom, that wheel, like, to find the balance point, I mean, that balance point is tiny on that Grom, and you have to nail it. And I guess that's the downfall of a small bike. But I mean, it's easier to learn on because you don't really have. It's not that I don't care, but I don't care, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean,
like we were saying earlier, you're not going to get as hurt on the Grom.
Well,
you're not going to get.
Well, yeah, right. So that's the thing, right? There's always a give and a take, right? So, bigger bikes, you're giving up a little more room to breathe as far as learning or whatever. But you're also taking the chance of destroying your bike because, like with, bigger bikes, you got to go faster and they're geared differently. So, I mean, unless you are truly 12 o'clocking, a big bike, you're going to be chasing out the wheelies until red line or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
so
you get that, right, until you get that balance point. Exactly.
Right. Whereas like a Grom, yeah, I mean, I've seen dudes loop them and they just like stand up if they catch it in time, right? Instead of like trying to hold on to the bike, they're just like, oh God, and their feet come off and they just stand up and take like 5 or 6 big steps and then they're like, oh, that almost ended up bad. Like, I mean, it's a give and a take, but, I would rather go the route of the Grom though, because I mean, if I had something small like that, that's probably what I would learn how to like wheelie better on, I guess, or whatever, versus my R6.
Oh yeah, all day. Yeah. Yeah, just money in your pocket tells me small bike. Just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I've seen people go out and they get the cages and they get all that for the big bikes, and then like it's all fun and games if you're dropping the bike because you're trying to do circle wheelies, like that's okay. But when you're like me, right, and you're setting down a second gear wheelie at like 90, 100 miles an hour, you know, stuff, you know, especially if you get like a tank slapper that ends into a crash. Oh, that always scares me. Oh, that always scares me. You know, but I mean, here's one thing. That's why I kind of don't like, at least in my head, I don't do them. But like stand-up wheelies, I've seen so many stand-up guys. As soon as they go to put the front wheel down, the handlebars are cranked or like slightly turned to the side, and as soon as they hit, you just see them like wobbling real bad, and boom, they go down. Whereas like with sitting down, I can at least hold on with my knees. And I can turn the handlebars with my hands independently, right? Whereas, like, when you're only 4 points of contact is your 2 feet, and then the handlebars, like, it just seems like there's way too much room for error. I mean, I'm sure you could figure it out over time, but I've always been scared to do stand-up wheelies, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, well, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, any other surprises for tonight? Like bike-like stuff, or you know, you got any more tricks up the sleeve, or no?
I don't know. I don't know what all you know. I guess that's it. As far as I know, that's all the, you know, weirdness.
So, I know too. You also do vinyl wrapping.
Oh yeah, I do.
I want to ask because
My Grom's wrapped.
See, I've never wrapped a Grom, but I have wrapped a couple pieces, and I'm not gonna lie, I was cursing like a sailor.
That sounds about right. Yep.
I don't see how certain angles and stuff could be achieved without major stretchage or like warping or whatever. But how did you get into vinyl wrapping? Like, was that just something like you wrapped some shit one day and was like, hey, I can do this?
I was told that I couldn't wrap a helmet.
Yeah, you can.
I already dabbled in wrapping a little bit, but I was told by professionals that I couldn't wrap a helmet. And anytime that I'm told I can't do something, it just makes me want to do it more. And so I spent hours and hours and hours figuring out how to make convex and concave work together in my favor, and I wrapped a helmet. And from then I don't have patience for a lot of things. I'm very impatient. I'm a very impatient person. My husband will be the first person to tell you that. But when it comes to wrapping stuff, it's like I'm in this other zone. I spend, 3-4 hours wrapping, and I feel like I've been there half an hour, 45 minutes, and I've been there all day doing it. So it's almost... It's a mental thing at this point. But
okay, so could you wrap a bowling ball? I mean, minus all the lines coming. See, I don't like in my head. That's not working. It starts out great until you move about like 2 or no, like 1.5 inches past where you initially stuck it. Right, the moment it starts to wrap,
you get that big old crease in there, and then you gotta figure out how to get that out.
All the way around because it's a bowling ball. Like wow. I mean, hats off to you, but
it takes a lot of patience. Like, okay, so my first bike that I wrapped, I was in my Daytona that I wrapped for the DBA Foundation. I wrapped the tank took 6.5 hours. The tank took 6.5 hours.
Sounds about right.
And yeah, it's just one of those things where you just have to just keep practicing it. And like a lot of people are like, oh, I can do that, and then they'll go and they'll try to wrap something, and it'll come out decent. It'll come out okay, but they realize that it's a whole lot harder than they thought it was going to be. Wrapping it's a skill. I mean, you just have to keep practicing it until you get it. I mean, you can do it, but you have to really be passionate about it. You have to want to do it.
I don't know.
So yeah.
Like I've wrapped a couple things, and like I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, it sucked at the end of the day. Like everything was good in the flat parts, and then once it kind of came to like a point, like I don't know, like imagine a very okay, you know, like R6s, right?
Yeah.
You know they have from like the foot peg from like the rear, well from like the foot peg all the way up to like the headlight. There's that 45-degree angle, like I don't know, strip or whatever. I wrapped one of those. Okay, everything was fine. The whole flat part, even though it kind of like bowed and curved a little bit, I was good. But once I finally got to that tip up there by the headlight and it rounded off, I was like, yeah, this is where you lost me. And then it all kind of wrinkles and it looked like a kid made his bed. Like, it was horrible. But I tucked it in there. It was like a crash that I'd had, so it was all scratched up. So I just went on Amazon and bought like some carbon fiber, like vinyl wrap or whatever. And the first time, for some reason, even though I had one, I didn't think to use a heat gun. I don't know. I did it. I slapped it on and was like, dude, this is really hard. And then like seriously, no BS. Like a good like hour of messing with it, bing, light comes on. I'm like, dude, you got a heat gun. Oh yeah. And so I ran down to the garage, pulled it out. And then by then I'd already like jacked it up. So I wind up ordering more vinyl, waiting for that to come in, and I redid it all over again. It was like a little bit better, but it was still horrible at the end of the day. So I don't even think I could wrap like the roof of a car.
That's funny that you said that. So last weekend, 2 weekends ago, one of my friends, she's Ride Like a Star on Instagram. Shout out to Ride Like a Star. I just did her roof of her car, and it's on my Instagram page too. But I wrapped the roof of it in black, and then they went and tinted all the windows. Oh my God, it looks so amazing. It looks so amazing.
Really? So how long did that roof take you? About what? An hour?
4 hours, start to finish. So like cleaning it, it took 45 minutes to clean it, because you have to clean everything. I mean, everything. You have to clean it so much that if I wanted to go eat out there on top of that car, I could go eat on top of that car. Right.
Well, it's kind of like when I was working at the car shop. One of the owner's friends or whatever, he had his own detailing business, so he would detail a lot of cars and stuff in there, right? And so one day I was like, I always heard about clay bars and this and that, right? And I was like, dude, what's the point of a clay bar? And he's like, to get all the little imperfections out of the paint. And I'm like, well, isn't that what the wash is for? Isn't that what the hell you just did? And he's like, oh no, dude, watch. So he's like clay bar in the car, and he'd show me the clay, and I'm like, damn, all of that shit didn't come off when you washed it? And he was like, nope. I was like, damn, dude. So getting it that clean, like, what are we talking here? We talking like special soaps, or what? Like, just time?
A lot of elbow grease, and you want a lot of. I use alcohol and water mix, solution mix, and alcohol will clean your car nice and squeaky clean, and not damage your paint.
Right.
But then you've also got to do. There's other things you have to do. There's other prep stuff that you have to do that a lot of people don't do. Like, I don't know. Like where there's going to be cracks and creases at, you got to put a sealant down. Nobody does that. If you're just doing it on your own, a lot of people don't put the sealant down. A lot of people don't put in the extra time to put on the tacky, the tack to really get your vinyl to lay down where it's supposed to in the corners. Nobody does that. Right. And which is good for me because I do it and it lasts longer. So I kind of have that edge. but all I'm doing is doing the basics that, you know, you should be doing with every vinyl wrap.
You know, it's funny. I remember one time we were talking about vinyl, I think on a hangout or something, and you were talking about like edge sealer, right? Or something. I think that's what you called it. Kind of like,
yeah, edge sealer, yeah.
And for some reason, like, that has always stuck with me, right? And I remember seeing all of these like cars that came in, right, that had wraps or whatever. Like, we're talking GTRs and, you know, other high end cars. And I remember this one guy. He said he spent like $7,000 or something for his wrap. And I remember like looking at all the little edges, right? And there was like some where you can see like, I don't think they used that, or considering like when I first saw the car, it was red. And then, you know, so this wrap had probably only been on maybe 3-4 months tops. And I'm already starting to see like, you know, like the little gap between like the hood and like the quarter panels and stuff, especially when you get up there by like the windshield. You start looking at that little point it makes, and you're like, ooh, he didn't get this to stick very well right here. And I'm like, damn, all that shit's gonna come up eventually. And once it starts, it's game over, right?
Yep, exactly right. Because once you get debris in there, you get little pebbles, little fine like sand. There's little sand-like pebbles in there, and they just start moving up. And before you know it, you know, you got a whole section of it that's off, and you can't do anything about it. And a lot of people, again, with prep work, you got, you know, the edge sealer is a must. You have to use an edge sealer, and you also have to take parts off. Like whenever I wrap a motorcycle, I take all the fairings off. I don't wrap to the edge of the fairing and then like cut it. I don't do that bullshit. I take everything off and I wrap it around it. So when I put it back on there, it looks like it's the piece. It doesn't look like it's like wrapped to the edge of the piece. And you have to be that meticulous with it, because you're just not gonna do well if you don't. And when I hear people say, oh, well, vinyl wrap is crap and you shouldn't wrap anything because vinyl wrap doesn't last long, either one, they're just listening to internet people and they don't really know what they're talking about, or two, they've done it and didn't do it correctly. So it's, you know, it's one of those two, because if you have quality vinyl and you do it properly and you take the time that it takes to do a good job, your vinyl wrap's going to last 5 to 7 years, and even longer. But it's guaranteed for 5 to 7. You have to say 5 to 7. Right. But I've seen wraps. You know, wraps will last longer than that.
Kenny said he paid $4,000 for, what did he say? My clear wrap, for clear wrap. I mean, you know what? To me, I look at that as like an investment. Because if, like, say, you know, you go and you sell a car, peel that off, boom, brand new page. I remember when you sold your Speed Triple, right?
My Daytona.
Was it your?
Mm-hmm. When I took the wrap off my Daytona, and it was like brand new red paint under there.
Because wait, that bike was how many years old?
It was a 2013, and I sold it last year, so it was 3 years old.
3 years old, and you'd put a wrap on it how many days after you got it? Weeks or months or whatever. How long?
What? I don't know, like a couple of months maybe.
Yeah, you kind of like that reminded me, like when I saw, because I didn't know it was wrapped or whatever, but when I saw that video of you taking all of it off, or I think you posted on like Instagram or something, right? Instagram or well, wherever you posted it.
Yeah, and that thing went viral. I got like 125,000 like views on that damn thing or something. I'm like, what is this?
Like,
just take the vinyl off.
But it kind of reminded me of like what you good old motorcycle cruiser. Subscribe today. Anyways, I remember he was talking about once he got that his 1,000, how he had ordered some like Chinese fairings and he had put them on. And I was like, dude, why? Like, that makes no sense. But then, because I'm the type of person, I'm going to buy the bike how I like it, right? Like, I don't necessarily want to do wraps or go through that, you know. I prefer, I mean, I will if I have to, but I would prefer to buy the bike as it is, and then I'm good, right? And, you know, his whole reasoning behind it was like, look, if you go to sell the bike, guess what? You got brand new OEM fairings that have not been touched. And I'm like, he's got a point. He goes, 2, if you crash, you can put brand new OEM fairings on eBay for sale. And I'm like, huh, okay, it do start to make a lot of sense. Like, you know what? For $600-800 or whatever, yeah, you go get you some fairings, get them all custom painted or whatever. And then just put your OEM joints up in the attic, or he was like, yeah, and also if you crash too, you can put the fairings back on it. Guess what? You still got a brand new bike. It looks fine. So, but yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, that was really, really smart. And the way that bike looked once you took everything off, I was like, God, dude, I don't think my bike's ever looked like that since I've owned it. So.
Yeah, it's like, and the pictures do it no justice. If you could just see it like it's just like. It hurt your eyes in the sun. You know what I mean? Like when you see that brand new paint job and it's so bright, it's like hits you right in the eye just right, and it just hurts your eye for that second. That's what it did. Yeah. That's the only way I can explain like how bright that paint still was. And then like I hear people say, "Oh well, wraps will ruin your paint." Again, no. Stop. It's like stop spreading the rumors. It doesn't help.
Right.
And yeah, I know somebody mentioned something earlier about, and I apologize, I ran through it. Somebody had mentioned something about it being all labor. Yes. When you pay for a wrap, you're not paying for the wrap, you're paying for the labor. But the labor, you got to understand, it takes 3.5 to 4 days to wrap a vehicle. It takes 3.5 to 4 days to wrap a motorcycle. So you're going to spend just as much time wrapping that motorcycle as you do an entire car. And so yeah, you're gonna pay for labor for somebody to do it correctly, or you can do it yourself, whatever. But if you're gonna have it done, just know that there's a lot of labor in there, a lot.
Yeah, and it's tedious labor too. I mean, because at the end of the day, right? Like I would honestly think, I didn't know what wraps cost, right? You could kind of look around and give a guesstimate of what you would need as far as material, right? You're like, okay, well, let's see, my car's this long and you got extra, so I'm probably looking at, I don't know, maybe like $500 or $600, $700, $800 for materials, just vinyl and other little stuff. But then, speaking to somebody like you who's saying like, yeah, dude, it's not like, we start at 8 a.m. and we're out by noon. That's not how this works, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I literally would have thought like, oh yeah, dude, just go wrap your car for like $800 or $1,000. I didn't know it was that labor intensive and would take that long. Because, you're thinking, dude, it's the hood, man. What, like 15 minutes tops?
Right.
It's flat, like it's got some weird corners toward the edges, or maybe a little molding or whatever, but like shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, right. That's not hard. There's nothing hard about wrapping a hood.
Yeah, you would think so, but anyways, guys, real quick, guys, the phone lines are open if you'd like to give us a call. At phone numbers 516-387-1431. Y'all want to go ahead and ask some questions either to myself and or my guest, that would be awesome sauce. But
that would be awesome.
So why don't you get into, well, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, why don't you get into like helmet wrapping as like a business thing? But then I was like, yeah, it wouldn't be profitable.
Well, exactly right. So it takes first of all, Mothman said that the local wrap shop told you they can't wrap the H2, okay, they lied to you. They don't want to do it. It can be done. They don't want to do it because it's going to take them too long, and they're not going to make any money off of it because they're going to have too much time spent in labor. So it's not going to be worth their time. So yes, it can be done. No, they don't want to do it. Okay. And the same thing goes with helmets. So if I wanted to wrap a helmet and get it done correctly, first of all, with a helmet, I don't have my helmet. For the helmets, like the wind clickers on the helmet to open up your vents, those don't come off, so you have to work around them. And if they do come off, they're glued on there to be permanently on there, not to pop off. So to work around those, which means that once it starts expanding and getting hot and the vinyl starts moving, it's going to separate away from that vent, just ever so slightly, but it's still going to do it. It's still going to separate away from that vent, which is not going to be a problem other than aesthetically. It's not, you'll see it, but it's not going to cause a problem with the wrap. But the other thing with the wrap is it's going to take 8-9 hours to wrap that helmet. Do you want to spend $600 for a wrapped helmet when you can just go buy a painted helmet? No, like it's not worth it for either party involved. So that's why I don't do it.
Right. Like my brother, he still does, but not to the capacity he used to. But yeah, he was a graphic designer, but he also airbrushed and spray painted and all that stuff. And he used to do helmets, right? And this was back in like the 90s or whatever, like when I was young. But I remember one time he was talking about it, and after I started riding out here in California, and I was just like, man, that doesn't seem like a very profitable thing nowadays. Because okay, first you got to buy a helmet. So what, you're going to get like a cheap helmet because they're easy, or something. I was like, then you got to sand it down and do all this crap, remove the paint, and then you got to lay all the design work down and then paint it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wow. But yeah, it just doesn't seem profitable because it's like, I'm like, then dude, what are you going to sell the helmet for? Like $800? Like, you're selling like a $200 helmet for $800 because it's got somebody's, nowadays people can just, get decals or something put on it, which is, would be a lot easier. Or, what about that hydro dip stuff? Have you ever done that or seen that?
I knew you were going to bring up hydro dipping. There's a place for hydro dipping. I love hydro dipping. However, there's two parts of hydro dipping that they don't tell you. One thing is you have to know how to spray paint. And I don't mean like spray paint, like with a can. I mean, you have to know how to paint, like vehicle quality paint. And they don't tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. Another thing is with hydro dipping, like if I wanted to do a helmet, you can't do a helmet because it's not waterproof. So you have to be able to dunk it in the water, submerge it in the water. And your helmet, you don't want to submerge your helmet in, a foot of water ever. You never want to do that. It's just not something that can really be done. So you have to be careful with hydro dipping with water. And I don't know. It's a tricky slope. Somebody will probably tell you, well, yeah, you can put a helmet in water and you can dry it out. Okay, that's fine. You can wear that helmet. I can't. Like, I guess it's my girl. I can't. I'm a girl. I can't see myself doing that to a helmet and then sticking it on my head. I can't do that. But whatever. Some people might want to. I don't know. But no, so to answer your question, no, I haven't personally done hydro dipping myself. I've thought about it. I would like to get into it at some point. It wouldn't be lucrative for me at this point.
Yeah, I definitely can see your point. It just, I was always curious, man, especially like stuff like rims or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool to hydro dip, right? But wait, can you peel that stuff off, or is that like a thing, or what?
Well, hydro dipping, it's the way that it's laid on there. It's not made to just come off like vinyl. So it's not going to come off like vinyl will come off in a sheet of vinyl. Hydro dipping won't do that. It's going to adhere to your helmet or whatever, to your gun, I guess, which a lot of people are hydro dipping now is their guns and their video game controllers. So it's not as easy to come off you. And then you got to remember you've got that primer on there, so that's like a paint sealer. So you got to sand that sealer off when you get, if you ever decide to repaint or whatever, you got to sand all that down just as if it was painted. But to go back to earlier when you were talking about custom, when I first started, when I was in college and I was doing design stuff, whatever, I really wanted to get into custom painting helmets, like designing, put designs and hand brush designs and stuff on helmets. And what made me not do that is the prep work for it. The sanding alone for a custom helmet is insane. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, that you had to sand down like seriously, like it's just hours and hours and hours. And then once you get through this grit, then you got to go down to this other grit, and then you got to go to no, I'm out. It's just too much. It's not worth it, because if you screw up, and you will, you got to start all that all over again. I just can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, as cool as it would be to have like your own custom whatever the hell, yeah, it depends on what it is, right? If it's just some logo on your truck, or you want to put a Superman logo on the hood, like that's simple, that's pretty easy. But yeah, I think the smaller, more intricate things get, the more people want to be like, I'll pass, dude. Like, and I've seen it too with cars, right? Like, a car shop is used to working on, this, like replacing turbos and upgrading turbos, and all of a sudden some dude brings in a car that's not turbocharged, and he wants to make it turbo, and it's just like, now I got to do a bunch of fabrication and crap that like I can't find at a shop, or I can just go buy out, from a local place. Like, I'm good, dude. Like, the amount of money that you'll want to pay versus the time I have to put into it, yeah, it's not happening, dude.
Right, exactly. Like, there's a balance, and if that balance isn't there, I'm out.
Right. Well, what has been the hardest thing, or that I guess, well, what have you spent the most time wrapping? And I'm saying after you've gotten like, your handle on everything.
Probably the thing I spent the most time on was probably my Daytona. Not even just because it was like one of the first wraps, but just because I wrapped every part of it. It was a full wrap, and a full wrap meaning like the tank and the front fairing. Half wraps are a little easier because you don't have to deal with the front fairing or the tank. So those are a little easier, a little less time. But I did a whole wrap on that one. I've done detail work on bikes that have just been a whole lot simpler. But I did do a Can-Am Spider, and I can't remember how many hours I had into that thing. But I did a full wrap on it. It was a silver Spider, and I wrapped it carbon fiber black and matte black, and just blacked it out. And that took several days, but I can't remember how many man hours I had in it. But that's probably like, I guess if I had to say what took the longest other than the Daytona, it would have to be that Can-Am Spider.
Yeah, I remember when you were posting pictures of that, I was like, seems like it's gonna be a lot of work, because I've seen one of those up close and personal. Like, for me, I'd rather wrap something more like 1980 style, right? The flatter the panels, the better. Like, I'm not trying to get around curves at all. Like, I don't even think I could wrap a set of stairs very well. Like, I don't trust myself when it comes to wrap. And the thing is, I have like regular like calendared vinyl, which can kind of help for practice or whatever, but yeah, no. Like I said, I've kind of wrapped little stuff, like some stuff with like Snowcat's bike, and then yeah, it was pretty horrible.
So you'll wrap a wall? Like, is that like kind of like where you are? Just
maybe, yeah. I think something flat, something like that.
Refrigerator.
So,
BrandiLand, and not like Brandy Vlogs or BrandiMotovlog biker girl or whatever.
Right.
Because I think there's going to be a tilt in the channel. I think it's going to change a good bit. I have some ideas that I have. I can't really go into detail on the ideas specifically, but I can tell you that a lot of it's going to be off the bike, and there's still going to be stuff on the bike for BrandiLand, but I have a whole group of videos that I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do with these. Like, this isn't motovlogging, but it's not unimportant. So I don't know. So there's things that I want to do with the channel that's not motovlogging, but kind of put motovlogging in kind of sprinkle it in here and there, at least until motovlogging becomes popular again. And I'm also doing I have an art channel that I haven't done anything with. It's not public or anything like that, but I haven't, all my art stuff that I do speed draws of them, and I post all of them. But that's going to be on a completely different channel, because I don't want all of my speed art stuff to be in the same category as like my motovlogging and BrandiLand channel. That's just a completely different thing.
I got you. Yeah, like I see the speed drawings, like, well, I just see the drawings in general. I didn't know that, like, you know, you were, I mean, I've seen people draw and they usually do like characters, or, you know, like X1 out there, he does a lot of like kind of like anime. I don't want to say like anime, like Japanese classic anime, but like animation style, like characters and things of that nature. But what made you kind of want to go toward like the realism, or I don't even know what to call it, more realistic or realism or something like that?
Hyperrealism?
Yeah.
So I've always been fascinated with people who could make things look like it's really, like you could touch it, it's real. And I don't know, the more I've drawn over the years, the more I've kind of leaned toward that type of drawing. And I'm so bad at it. Like, I wish I could just, it's one of those things where you just want to wake up and do it. You know what I mean? I don't want to spend years and years doing, like, practicing it and getting better. I want to just do it, and it doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of, unfortunately, it takes, you know, hundreds of hours. And like the drawing, I just did a drawing today. I finished the drawing today. I've been working on it for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have to start over because it's not at all how I want it to be. It doesn't look anything like I want it to be. There's things that are wrong with it, and it's just frustrating because you spend all those hours. You know, I have 20 hours probably wrapped up in, well, no, not 20. I guess I probably have 15 or 16 hours wrapped up in hair alone in that drawing. And so to have all that time just wasted, it's frustrating.
I got you. Shout out Ghost Ninja. What the hell was going on in the side chat? I didn't realize. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyways, big shout out Ghost Ninja. Appreciate that. But no, I'm not gonna lie. Did you grow up like naturally a good drawer? I mean, I know that people can like take classes and things of that nature to get better at drawing. Is that something you went down, or you just kind of come natural for you, or you just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and then?
Yeah, well, okay, so when I was 9, I had a poster of a duck on my bedroom wall, or my door, and I remember looking at it every night and thinking, I can draw that. Like, I can do that. I can draw that. I know I can draw that. And one day I sat down and I drew it. And I remember, I mean, I still have it. Like I said, I was 9. I still have the drawing. And it was like something clicked, like, hey, I can do this, and I enjoy this, and I want to do it. It's never come easy for me. I've never been able to draw something and go, oh, wow, that was easy. Like, every single thing I do is always very challenging for me. Right. Everything about it, everything from even just laying it out is just so challenging. I see people who can just, like, draw things, and, like, they're all smiling while they're doing it. I'm, like, the angriest person on the planet when I'm drawing stuff. And it's very frustrating, but I just love it. I love it more than anything else that I do.
Really?
Drawing is definitely my absolute #1 passion.
So do you actually dabble into painting at all, or whether it's like watercolors or even just using like the colored markers or whatever the hell or colored pencils or anything like that?
Yeah, so I do water. I don't do much watercolor, just because I always screw that up and like it runs and it's a big mess. So I try not to mess with watercolor too much. I do color pencils. I like color pencils a lot, but there's a lot more hours in color pencils than there are in graphite pencils. So I tend to stick with graphite just because it's a little bit faster. Markers, I've done a couple things with markers. I don't care for the style. Like, some people can pull off that style, but I'm more of a realistic, a hyper-realistic kind of artist, and markers don't do it for me. I've done paints, and I like acrylic paint. I've done a lot of motorcycle stuff in acrylic paint, and that's just fun. It's not my zone, so it's a little harder for me to kind of get into, but I do like it. And oil painting is just bananas. Like, I like the realism that you can get from oil paints, but I don't like how long you have to wait for, you know, like if I draw a line and then I have to have a line, like if I draw a blue line and I draw a red line through the blue line, I have to wait for that blue line to dry, and it's oil, so it's going to take days. So it's going to be like 3 days before I can do like 2 lines. I don't have time for that.
Right. Well, hey, we got a call on the air. I think I know who this is. So let's go ahead and take this phone call. We'll see. Caller, you're live on the air. What up?
Is this me?
Yes, it's you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, Red? How you doing?
Good, man.
So question is for Brandy.
All right.
Can you hear me, Brandy?
I can.
How you been?
Good. How are you?
You been good?
Yeah.
I'm good. I had a question about, like, you know, all the drawings you've done. Have you ever thought about auctioning those off to save or make money? Make some money? So what's the deal? You gonna do that? I like, my favorite one is the one you drew of me, by the way. Just saying. A little biased. Oh, and and of Ryan, for the Matt Ryan. But that one came out really good.
Oh yeah, thank you. I like that one. That's probably like my favorite one that I've ever done. Other than the one that I did of you, that was my favorite one that I've drawn. It's kind of scary to kind of put yourself out there like that. Like, it's one thing to put yourself out there on Instagram or Facebook and say, okay, this is what I've done, you know, like, come at me. But when you've got people, like, if you're auctioning it off, or you're doing a show, like we have art galleries in town where you can kind of put your stuff in a show or whatever. That's a whole different beast, because now you've got people, like, it's not internet people, it's actual, like, they can touch you, people looking at your stuff. And I'm real insecure about my drawings that I do. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I want to do it, but I don't think I'm at that level yet to do it.
So why don't you start off with the vloggers that you drew, put it on your YouTube channel and on Instagram, and start, you know, going that route to kind of see how it is? Because I think you would. I mean, I don't know how it would work for everybody. I wouldn't care about the money. You keep the money, but it'd be cool to see some of these drawings, what they would go for, and maybe you know, a portion of your proceeds, like the motovlogger can donate to you know, a foundation or a good cause, and some of it you get to keep. But I've always wondered what you did with the drawing. I would buy it. I think it's cool. I definitely would put it somewhere in my house. So I don't know, just a thought.
That's very cool of you. That's very nice of you to say. Yeah, I've definitely thought about it. I've definitely thought about doing stuff for, like, charity. Obviously, the DBA Foundation would be my go-to choice for charity. But
me too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I've definitely toyed with that idea. I've thought about it, but I don't know. And I didn't get, like, when I did the
do it. You got to do it.
I don't know. Well, when I did the what is it, 30 days of December drawings or whatever that I did, when I did yours, I didn't get the response that I really was hoping for to kind of, like, spark something with that. I mean, I had people who were interested, But some people that I did there, and I wouldn't expect, if I drew, somebody, I wouldn't expect them to go, oh my God, Brandy, thank you for drawing me. What, I don't really expect that. I mean, it's appreciated. Like, for you, like when you said it, thank you, I appreciate that. But like some people, like, I even messaged them to say, hey, I have a picture of you that I would like to give you, and like, if they said anything, they were like, okay, or like there's no like I'm trying to like get something to you, and they're like, yeah, whatever, like, go away, kind of thing. So I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of people
some of
aren't
those guys
into
can be
it.
like that. I think you should. I think you should do. I think what you should do is maybe Red One's kind of good at this, but get a live hangout going and start a bid that way. Like, isn't that how it kind of works? Have some fun with it, but do it live, and I think that'd be cool. I'd help you promote it for sure.
That's cool. Okay, I tell you what, I will definitely give it some serious thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
For
it'd be
sure.
cool.
And if not, I definitely trying to do a live auction. I would definitely, if someone were to outbid, but I definitely bid on the drawing, the paint, the picture. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I mean, all of them are good. I forget who it was. You did someone with their glasses on. I think it was Shade Tree, and like you did the color really cool. Like, was it maybe Fish? Yeah, I don't know who it was, but I forget. One of those drawings, it came out really clean.
Yeah, I did. I know I did one with Shade Tree where I had because I did his with like some color pencils, and he had his glasses on. Like that one kind of popped a good bit too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my opinion. So I don't know. Hopefully, if you do it, you can always, shoot me a text and I'll help promote or push it. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to see. I'm assuming some of the bigger bloggers obviously would get more money, but I don't know. Just another cool thing to do, I guess, on the live hangout.
That's cool. I'll definitely give that some thought and kind of figure something out. Maybe do something live. That would be pretty cool.
I think it'd be fun. I think especially like on a Saturday or a Friday night with a lot of people, everyone that drinks, that might be interesting.
That's true. Yeah, well, whenever I used to do hangouts, we used to have people, we would do like certain words. So like if you said, whatever word or whatever, you had to donate X amount of dollars. And then we would do things where if you came on, if you came on to the hangout or whatever, and we would I don't remember how we did it. Well, we discussed whatever, and then like people were auctioning their time, really, is what they were doing. So we kind of did something like that, not art related, but we did like a live auction kind of thing before, and it went really well.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Give it some thought, put it together. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to watch how to do it. Bid on in the side chat, and go from there.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say. It was nice talking to you and Red.
Appreciate you calling, Bash.
Always nice talking to you, Bash.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
All right, guys. We'll see you around. Thanks for having me on.
All right,
bro.
All right.
Later.
I wonder if Bash at work. He's probably at work. Yeah, he's probably at work. At first I was like, is he at home watching TV? But then I heard something like accident, and I'm like, he's probably at work. He's probably at work, saving lives and all that good stuff. I don't know if I could do all that. I don't know exactly where he works, but or what he does, but hopefully it ain't seeing a bunch of like limbs and blood and stuff. I'll pass.
Yeah.
I will pass. But granted, though, he's out there saving lives. That's what's up.
That's it.
But yeah, no, I think that's a cool idea, man. I mean, if you could figure out, a good way to implement it and, keep everything fair and honest, like, I think, yeah, it'd be cool, and say, like, hey, man, all donations go to whatever, like DBA, something like that, and then whether it's the motovlogger themselves or, the fans out there bidding on their favorite motovlogger for that image, like, yeah, I mean, it goes to a good cause, and And plus, then you, ma'am, aren't hogging all the artwork.
Yeah. I am an artwork hoarder, I think is what I would be. I definitely hoard the art.
Do you have like, what do you keep your artwork in, or do you try to, is there like a room that's just literally like floor to ceiling, just images?
Yeah, so I have a lot of artwork, floor to ceiling. Well, not to ceiling, because that does make me sound like a hoarder. But like it's like in really big portfolios. So I have I don't know, 3-foot whatever portfolio bag that I have a lot of my stuff in. My paintings and stuff that I have are framed up, so I can't really put those anywhere right now. They're actually in one of my closets. I need to hang them, is what I need to do. I need to hang a bunch of that stuff, but I just haven't, because there's just so much of it.
Right. Well, that's cool. I think everybody needs a hobby. I think that's what a lot of people are missing from this day and age. I mean, I don't consider sure, video gaming can be a hobby, but I think most people need like some kind of like legitimate straight up hobby. I mean, that goes beyond stuff that is just, riding a motorcycle can be a hobby. I don't look at motorcycles as a hobby. I look at it as like a necessity, but I think it's cool that, like you do that in your spare time. Do you do it as like a stress relief, or you just do it when you're bored, or just something comes to your brain, you're like, ooh, gotta go draw that, and immediately you just stop what you're doing and go draw?
Yeah, so all of the above. Sometimes if I'm really stressed out, I'll pick up a pencil and start drawing. It just depends on the mood. And then sometimes I don't want to draw at all. Like I'll go months and not touch anything. I have to. It's like, I don't know. It's like I just get uninterested. But then whenever I do pick it back up, it's like it's full on. Like I'll spend 8 hours a day for months at a time drawing. And then I'll go back in that rut where I don't want to see it, and I won't do anything anymore. And then it's just a cycle. So it just depends on like where I am and what I'm going through and what I'm doing. But it's certainly gotten me through some pretty crappy times, that's for sure. Drawing has always been an outlet.
Right. Well, that's cool. All right, we got another call here. Let's go ahead and take this one, and we'll see where it goes from here. Area code 714, you live on the air. What up?
Hey, Redwin. How's it going?
X, what's going on?
Yep, that's me. Just wanted to come by and about Brandy, you were saying something about like how you were afraid to show out your work to professionals or such.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's a bit fearful at first, and the first time they'll critique you, and I felt it too. Like I feel like I'm studying animation here at school, and the first time you get critiqued, it is very hard on you because that is you do put all your soul and effort into whatever it is that you do with your art, right? But at the end of the day, really it's whatever critique the professionals give you is really the most important thing that you could learn from them, because they're the ones that know exactly what how to improve your skills and such.
All right, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the professionals are the ones that make you better, help you kind of get a better idea of the direction that you should be going. Those people don't bother me. It's the people who are like the internet trolls that come out and are in public.
Oh, well, you're always gonna be getting those. Those people, they tend to not really know much of anything.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Everybody gets that shit. Redmond gets it. Snowcat gets it. It's just one of those things that you gotta deal with eventually.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've done it. I did a show when I was in college, and I guess overall the show was fun, but it's like putting a piece of your soul out there, you know, and people to critique and discuss, and it's I don't know, it's nerve-wracking, I guess. It's kind of, it's like I said, it's just a scary thing to do.
But also, like, yeah, but also you would feel like wouldn't you feel like some sort of joy as well, of, like, having somebody, like, actually look at your stuff and, like, them, like, also taking away something from it as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And
You're
I'm
right.
pretty sure that's how we all feel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the reason why I post up pictures, like my drawings as well, is that, like, you know, like, I have all these ideas in my head, and, you know, like, an idea is just an idea unless you send it out to somebody.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. That's true.
And, you know, it's just a thing of, like, not getting too attached to your artwork as well.
Too attached. Yeah, I don't create artworks. I mean, mine's visual, not on paper, so it's a different.
Well, it is a visual. Well, what I do is basically a hybrid of the both. It's a visual media that's drawing. It's animation.
Right. Maybe you should try that next there, Brandy. You should try out animation. You get to draw, plus you get to make it move and dance and do all that cool stuff. No?
Yeah, I did animation in college, and as much as I appreciate animation, I don't have the patience for animation.
Yeah, it is very difficult.
What?
Well, it's not difficult. I said it. Yeah, it's very difficult, but it's not really difficult. It's just very tedious because you do sometimes you like you have to do everything frame by frame, you know.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And that's I guess that's part of the reason as to, like, why I ended up going the simplified animation route as to opposed to, like, the more realistic stuff. Probably more to the fact that I don't have the patience to do, like, realistic style drawings, but yet I have the patience to do a 2-minute film in 16 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, that's bananas to me.
It's just different things. I'm pretty sure you won't have the patience to do like a 1.5-minute film, but I'm pretty sure you do have the patience to to draw up like a fully rendered out drawing like in 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like how we quantify everything. It's just weird how, I don't know, how we decide what is more tedious than the other. Because it all comes down to the same thing. I mean, you're spending as much time as I am on something, but I find one thing harder to do and actually sit down and focus on.
Yeah.
Well,
let me just say one thing, that it's very difficult to make a character crawl than it is to make a character run.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you think about it. It's a lot of moving parts.
There's nothing to think about. That is a literal thing.
Huh. Wow.
But
well, that's what's up, man. So, X, you coming out on Saturday? Am I right there, sir?
Oh yes, and we are gonna take you to Norm's afterward.
Yes, we're going.
Even if you are pissed drunk.
It's okay. I'll be ready. I'll be ready to eat. I mean, it's after a night of drinking. Who isn't ready to eat? But all right, well, cool, man. Let me let you go, and I will see you this Saturday, sir, for a couple drinks and some Norms.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
See you this Saturday.
All right.
All right. Later, Brandy.
Bye, X. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the Motovlog hangout this Saturday, so we're gonna do our monthly meetup and drink, and after that we're going to a restaurant and having some food. I don't know, there's this restaurant out here called Norms. Always seen Norms, and it looks like, I don't know, I don't like their color scheme and like the way that the sign is designed. Like, I just always thought it would be crappy food, and one night on a hangout somebody took it way too far, and it actually carried over the next day into like Instagram DMs. I'm getting Norms pictures, and I'm like, all right, dude, we're going to Norms. All right, we're going to Norms. All right, so the next time we all meet up to go drinking, we're going to Norms. It's one of those things that just went way too far one night, and it's like, okay, fine, all right, it's gonna become a real thing. So yeah, Danny Caves this Saturday for all you guys. City Orange, 8 p.m. After that, we're going to Norms and eating some food, and then everybody go home. All right. But anyways, Brandy, I know it's late for you. I'm going to wrap this up because I know you got stuff and things going on. For me, it's 9. It ain't even 9 o'clock here, so you know, my day's not even half over.
Up there.
Yeah. I mean, but Miss BrandiLand, I appreciate having you on the show. I thank you for coming through tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yes, I learned that you like to stunt motorcycles, even though you kind of don't do it yet, but plan to do it one day if possible.
That's right.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the last word. Shameless plug. Anything you wanna throw out there?
Oh, I'm no good at these. I'll see you. That's you in BrandiLand. Bye, you guys. That's all I got.
That's all she got. Well, hey, guys, make sure you check out her channel. It's in that doobly-doo down below, and also you can check her out on Instagram at BrandiLand Official. And you have another one. What is it? Because when I went to tag you, there's BrandiLand_official, and then there's BrandiLand Draws or something like that.
Art. BrandiLand Art.
BrandiLand Art. That's her other. Just type in BrandiLand, it probably will pop up. You guys should see it. Bash out there with the Pickle Ricks. But anyways, guys, yeah, make sure you check her channel, like I said, in that description box below. And we will catch you guys this Friday on the Other Guys Live Ghost Ninjas channel, followed by Saturday at Danny K's. Then we're going to Norms. So I'll see all you guys Friday and then Saturday. Till then, guys, have yourself a great night, and we'll see you soon.